Hello and welcome in to the Gary Goff Show, special Gary Goff Show, as we're talking Tiffin University football recruiting. I'm Russ Snyder, voice of the Dragons, alongside head coach Gary Goff and my broadcast partner Matt Kibler. Happy day today, huh, guys?
Oh, it's a great day, now that it's all over.
Well, Matt, you've been working a lot on finding out some information on these kids, so you've been digging in deeper than most of us. I'm sure you're pretty excited to get started about these kids, too.
I got to see the stats of some of these kids, and it's very exciting. Got a good group, it looks like to me. Good size, good speed, and a lot of defense.
Well, I think Matt's been doing his job.
He has been
following us pretty closely for the last several weeks, as far as who we're on and, and what we're looking for.
He's all over. He's got his finger on the button, as they say.
That's right.
All right. Well, let's talk.
Trigger.
Well, let's talk a little about Tiffin University football. First of all, let's recap last year. A very productive season for your Dragons from where they were when you got here, Coach, to last year. Big win at defending conference champion Saginaw Valley State to get your conference season jump-started there. And your kids really had a pretty successful campaign this past season. Compared to when you got here. Compared to when you got here.
By no means are we content with that. But, yeah, we had a better season. We're really, really excited about the direction of the program right now because, we look at offense, defense. We basically lost 2 starters on offense and 2 starters on defense. Yeah. So we're returning a very, very experienced, group of young men next season. So this recruiting class, we got to be very, very selective. We didn't have a large scholarship pool, so we passed on a lot of young men that were really good players, but we just didn't have that need or fit in our program this year.
Yeah, Matt, we talked about a lot on our car rides to and from the games and stuff about what this team needs, and it looked like Coach went after defense. We thought maybe that's the direction he was going to go in.
Yeah, I think so. I think defense is a good choice for this team. Defensive line, linebackers, you bring in a lot of team speed and guys that can just flat out tackle. That's what you look for. And I think for this team to keep going in the conference to get better, it's going to take a lot of team speed. You see a lot of teams moving to that spread offense as opposed to the I formation, and that's exactly what it looks like we went after today.
Well, let's talk about some of these kids. Are going to be future Dragons. Their letters of intent showed up here at Coach Gary Goff's office today, and kids will be on the football field come next fall. Coach, there's big days to get excited about in the football season. Obviously, day one of the football season, opening day, first game of the year is a great day. The day kids report to camp is a great day, and this day is another great day, isn't it?
Oh, without a doubt. I tell you what, my staff's families did a fantastic job in this recruiting class. I really appreciate the hard work they put forward in this class, and I think it shows. We did a great job signing these young men, and like always, we got high character young men that we feel will come in here and have an immediate impact in our program. So, again, hats off to my staff and their families for the hard work they've done.
You said high character kids, not only making a big impact on your program, but making a big impact in the community as well, and that's been a great thing that's been happening on your watch here with our kids as well. So let's get right into it, Coach. Got some kids, future Dragons, who sent their letters here to Tiffin University. Let's start there at the top of the list. Young man, offensive lineman from Bradley, Ohio.
Yeah, we're Sami Aiden. One thing you'll notice, too, about this class is they're a lot bigger. As the years have gone and we've gotten a little more specific needs and really understanding the conference, better each and every year, we really went after size. And where Sami's a young man that is really, really long guy. He looks like a basketball player, which is what we want our tackles to really look like. And then we can put on the size and strength on them because, we really don't want our tackles, any larger than about 285, 290 pounds.
So you don't have a whole lot more to go with that young man. He's just below that.
Oh, without a doubt. He's a good-sized young man. Excellent student, very, very unique young man. He's a lot of fun to be around. Got a great personality. So, and he comes from a great program down there in the Columbus area, Bradley. So a great young man. We're really excited about.
Nobody knows any better than you how important depth is at the offensive line for a college football team. You brought in another young man out of the state of Indiana, Matt Anderson.
Same thing. Matt Anderson. Kind of one of our best kept secrets in a way. Indiana's got some really good high school football players, especially in the Indianapolis area. So, we stole one from the state over there, and Matt Anderson again. A 4.0 student, big, strong young man. Reminds us a little bit of a Mason Butler. Okay. A little taller than Mason, though. But, Matt is going to be a lot of fun to coach. He was a team captain for him. But, Matt's 6'5", 290 pounds. He might be that tackle guy, but he also can be an interior guy.
It's so crazy to hear those kind of sizes. You're talking about high school kids, isn't it? Wow. All right, the next
we were all that big in high school, weren't we? As we get older, we shrink a little.
I was going to say,
or a lot.
All right, the next young man we're going to talk about, he's from Amherst, Ohio. Went to Amherst Steel High School. I had a friend of mine who actually played defensive back here a while ago. We'll just say that from that high school as well. Named Nathan Blair. Tell us about Nathan.
Again, another really big young man. Nathan, again, he's just under 6'5". He's about 285 right now as well. We think he could be the tackle or guard hard. And you look at the offensive line we signed this year, and there are guys that can play tackle, but they can easily bump down and play that guard position as well. But Nathan's got a bright future. He's somebody that we're going to lock in the weight room with Warsami and Matt Anderson, and those guys. I expect those guys can be 4-year starters before it's all said and done.
Well, Matt, we saw last year bringing in Mason Butler, is one of the kids you mentioned there, bringing in some young kids who are ready to play on the football field right now. I mean, everybody needs a little tuning when you're a freshman, but he's bringing in some offensive linemen who are ready to jump on the field right away.
They've done an outstanding job. You look at even Max Pollum from a couple classes ago. He had an injury, but he comes back. He's as strong as ever. Mason Butler, an All-GLIAC honorable mention selection as a freshman, especially the center. You're the captain of the line. Basically, at that point, you're calling all the line calls. You're picking up blitz packages. For him to be able to do that and make an all-conference selection, it just shows that the talent level we're able to bring in. And, Mason, kind of an undersized guy, but he held his own in there in the trenches. He did a nice job, good footwork, good hands, and if you keep bringing in guys like that, we're going to be in good shape.
Well, I think one of the things you're seeing now is, we're all forgetting right now that we redshirted 5 offensive linemen last year.
That's true.
We hadn't even seen them on the field. You guys haven't seen them on the field yet.
Yeah.
But so we're getting that depth that now we're not having to play those freshmen or sophomores. We can redshirt them, develop them, get them a lot stronger, and then obviously they'll be more competitive on the field.
Another offensive lineman from just up the road, up in Fremont, a young man named Alec Carnicom.
Alec is somebody that was at our camp a year ago. Very excited about him. Another 4.0 student. He's really, really smart young man. Of course, he's got one of my current coaches up there, or one of my former coaches up there, Coach Yeast. So he's used to the offense. He knows it already, so he's going to be able to come into camp and pretty much understand the way we practice and a lot of our plays. So a big bonus right there with Alec, and really excited about that young man.
Well, the next young man we're going to talk about is not an offensive lineman. We started off here with 4 offensive linemen off the get-go. Tell us about the next young man on our list who's not an offensive lineman.
Well, Cole Chandler. Cole's a receiver that is very athletic. We lost Marcus Burham. Graduated him, and
whose name's littered all over the record books.
Mark's had a great career. So we're looking for a few young men to come in and kind of fill those shoes right there. And Cole's a young man that we're excited about, and obviously he's somebody that can come in here and catch a lot of footballs for us.
I know one position you looked at on the defensive side of the ball that you knew you had to hit heavy was a linebacking position. And Alec D'Angelo is another guy you brought in. He's from north of the border in Canada.
He is. He came down here for a visit. We like the young man. Again, another fine student. He's somebody that, we got to put some size on him, but that's most true freshmen coming in. But, again, very athletic young man that we're really excited about him as well.
Another linebacker out of the state of Michigan, Lapeer, Michigan. Matt, I think they brought in a few kids from Lapeer. You were working on the list here earlier, but this young man is another linebacker named Seth Dixon.
Yep, Seth is. You can see all these defensive guys, right? But no, Seth's somebody as well. It's going to come in. We felt like we wanted to get more depth at that linebacker position and create some more competition at that position because, like we always say, competition makes everybody better. So we expect Seth to come in and help compete right there. Another
young man on the defensive side. This one plays on the defensive end, though. He's out of Unito, Ohio. His name's Tommy Fallow.
Tommy Fallow, he had 13 sacks last year in high school. He's an explosive player. At our defensive end position, and we try to get some size at that position, and we also need some pass rushers. That's something we lacked in the area last year is putting pressure on the quarterback and getting some more sacks. So, we expect him to come in and contribute in that area.
Well, one of the quarterbacks, you brought in a few. I was a little surprised the number of quarterbacks I saw on your recruiting list this year. This kid from Tri-Valley, Ohio, named Brock Fargus.
Brock, again, another excellent student. You always want your quarterbacks to be good students, smart guys. Yeah. But, he's got a quick release, smart young man, criminal justice major. It's just a perfect fit for him. He loves the offense, the air raid offense. So, and he's a real hard worker that we're excited about. And we've been recruiting Brock for a while now, so we're excited to get him as join our campus. And
Matt, the next young man is another kid, one of those young men from Lapeer, Michigan, another linebacker.
Evan Green. I tell you what, Evan Green is going to be a giant.
Yeah?
He's a big young man.
He's already pretty big.
He is a big young man. It's funny. You got recruits coming on the weekend. You're always eyeing the players and looking at their size. Well, Evan's a big guy we're excited about. His dad turned the corner. His dad's twice the size of Evan. But we're excited about Evan. He's a young man that's going to bring a lot of excitement to our defense. He's a real linky guy that we can't wait to put some size on him as well. And, interesting thing about Evan, his brother was a 3-year starter at Grand Valley. played tackle for him.
So he's got the pedigree.
He does.
Come in and play some football for us. All right, another linebacker from Grove City, Ohio, Ryan Grooms.
Ryan Grooms, very highly recruited throughout our conference. He's an all-state linebacker down there at Grove City. Again, the young man is great size. He's 6'3", 225 right now. He asked us on his visit, "Hey, Coach, how much more weight you want me to gain?" We said, "Hey, you're big enough
you're
for this
good
conference,
right
Yeah. But I imagine he's still gonna gain some weight. But he's playing basketball right now, and 6'3", 225 at a linebacker position that fits our conference.
Absolutely. I want him to take you down low in a high school basketball game. We're scoring on you all day. Another linebacker from just up the road in Fremont as well, Garrett Hausman.
Yeah, Garrett, same thing. A guy with good size. A guy that we're going to, lock in the weight room, get some mass on him. He just needs to thicken up a little bit. But good young man. We're really excited about him. And, you can see right now we just went over 4 linebackers. We're going to have a lot of competition at that spot.
Well, let's make it 5 because the next one on the list is another linebacker from Roger Bacon High School named Andrew Hawkins.
Another recruit that everybody in the conference was after.
That's Cincinnati area, such a hotbed for high school.
It really is, and we've wanted to focus on Cincinnati and do a little bit better job down there. And Coach Edwards, was the one that went down there and recruited Andrew, and again, great young man, loved his family. He's another kid that's 6'3", 195, very, very athletic. We'll add some weight on him, but he's a kid that can come in and compete just because he's so athletic. And he might start out that outside linebacker position, but end up moving inside just because of his pure size.
Now, Matt, the next young man on the list, I saw his brother at basketball game over the weekend. I forgot how big his brother was, Justin. We got a sibling pair going on here from Buckeye Central, New Washington, High School,
good
Ohio.
size. You got him listed possible. You can use him as a safety. You could use him on offense. I mean, at 6'4", you have a lot of possibilities, especially if you're only 180 pounds to start off with, because you can stay that size and become a wide receiver.
Well, look how much bigger his brother got since he's been here.
He's huge. Yeah, he's big.
Talking about Jordan Hernstein, his brother's going to be a senior for us, Justin. But, Jordan is really the same mold as Justin is. And, Jordan, I really want him at that tight end position because I think he can be dangerous there. And, again, somebody that we want to get some size on. But, he's a really tall young man and had a good high school career, so we're excited about him. And what a great family. And obviously Justin's had a great career for us.
There's a little bit of football pedigree in that family as well.
Oh,
my goodness. Matt was telling me about the lineage there. Tight end is a position to be kind of excited about with this Tiffin University football program because last year we saw the tight end get a whole lot more involved in the offense. So coming in as a freshman, it got to be pretty exciting for that young man.
Yeah, I think you'll see it evolve a little bit more. We're really excited about Dominic Lewis. He'll finally be a redshirt sophomore next year. It seems like he's already been here forever, but Dominic is going to have a bright future, and we're excited to get him the ball next year. So we'll see.
All right, another linebacker from McDonald, Ohio. Cameron, how do you say that last name, Coach?
Cameron Ift.
Tell us about him.
Ift, another excellent student, another big young man. He's sitting there at 6'3" and 200 as a high school senior. Again, somebody that we had visit that first weekend, and we were really high on. He's got a lot of different offers throughout the conference, and a big sign for us, really big sign. So he's going to come in, and we expect him to compete right away as well.
Another one of those linebackers we spoke about earlier. Now let's move into the secondary on the defense. This young man, a transfer from Jackson State, a strong safety named Sean Johnson.
Yeah, Sean Johnson transfers to us that semester, so he's on campus now. Excited about him. We've got some big shoes to fill and losing Brandon Person,
to say the least.
So Sean's going to come in. He's going to be a redshirt sophomore for us next year, and he's got a little bit of experience. And the good thing about him, he's going to be here on campus and learn our defense throughout spring practice, and
that's huge.
Hopefully be a great player for us.
Well, the next one, good thing if he's watching the video right now, he can't see outside with the snow falling down, but a defensive end out of San Mateo, California. Gotta love the name, Willie Mays.
Willie Mays. Yeah, from San Mateo. We went out and we were looking for some defensive ends out there in California. Me and Coach Edwards went out there for about a week.
He didn't take us with him, but go ahead.
I tried. I tried. Lonnie just y'all were too busy.
It's okay.
You wouldn't want to go on anyway. The whole week it rained the entire week. But anyway, Willie is 6'4", at 220 right now. We want to put a little bit of size on him, but his first step is great. We expect him to give us that big pass rush off the edge right there, and again, hopefully get us some more sacks.
That first step so important for the defensive end. Absolutely, good to hear. All right, next guy we have up here is another one of these Lapeer, Michigan young men. This guy's a running back, though. Other guys were on the defensive side. This young man, a running back named Travis Mercino.
Yeah, with Travis, we're not really sure where we want to use him yet, whether it's as a running back or maybe a slot receiver. Okay. With our running backs coming back, as far as Jerry Brown, and then you got Jordan Nobles, then Chris Watkins. I think we got a three-headed monster right there. All three are going to be great players. So we're not really sure where Travis is going to fit in, but we like how explosive he is. He's got great hands and can run. So we're definitely going to find a home for him on the offensive side of the ball, whether it's out of the backfield or in the slot position.
Well, another young man from the state up North Michigan, the defensive back Ross Moore, coming to Tiffin.
Ross Moore, another heavily recruited young man. One thing about recruiting high school DBs, lots of times it's hard to see him on film. It's hard to see him flip their hips, run, press coverage. We run a lot of man coverage in our defense. So, we saw Ross on film do all those things. Is a really, really competitive young man, very disciplined family, which I love. Yes, sir, no, sir type young man. So we're excited about Ross, and we need help right there in the secondary and expect great things out of him.
I'm sure it is hard to look at a defensive back on film because in high school, you face some good wide receivers, but the receivers you're facing in the GLIAC are dominant wide receivers at times.
Yeah, and then as far as high school film, most high schools, their best DB or their best athlete, they put him back there at free safety. That way he can get to both sides and just roam around. So it's hard sometimes to see that corner pressing man coverage and flipping his hips and coming up and making those open field tackles. So this young man did all those things on film. We're excited about him.
Another quarterback coming in. This one's coming from the state of Illinois, and that is Joe Mullen. Tell us about Joe.
Yeah, Joe, another young man that was very excited about our offense. He's kind of used to this style of offense, a little no huddle, and making
it hard to recruit a quarterback when you say you can throw it all day long.
Yeah, eventually the quarterbacks start coming to us because hey son, we want you to throw the ball. We don't want you to hand it off. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't say that, running backs. I didn't say that. No. But, we're excited about him because you can actually see him on film go through his progression, a smart young man. And, Pipkin's obviously a phenomenal athlete. He's continuing to grow as a quarterback. But, we've had some great quarterbacks play in our offense that were strictly quarterbacks that sat in the pocket and just made the right read. I think we saw one of those win the Super Bowl in Tom Brady. Yeah. Not saying we got anybody at that level, obviously, but – Joe's kind of that guy that can sit back there and just make the right reads and deliver the football, and that's all it takes in this offense.
Well, earlier today when Matt and I were looking at the list, he was saying Tiffin's going to turn into linebacker U, and another run of linebackers here we got coming up. This one's from Benedictine High School, up in the Cleveland area, Gregory Page.
Yeah, Greg's a big young man as well. He's every bit of 6'2", maybe pushing 6'3", but another rangy guy, very, very athletic that we feel that, again, we can lock in the weight room and turn him into a really, really big GLIAC linebacker. And again, he'll probably start off in that outside linebacker position for us, but we expect him to move inside pretty quick because he's a big young man.
Well, another one of those linebackers from up the road in Fremont, Coach Yee sending down here to Tiffin to play for the Dragons, Matthew Robles.
Matt, we're excited about him. Runs very well. Not quite the size of some of his other guys, but we think he's a very, very smart football player. Flies around, makes some great tackles in space. So we're excited to get him on the field and see what he can do for us.
Well, another one of the running backs added to the stable that you were referring to just a little bit ago out of Toronto, Ohio, Charles Ross.
Charles as well. Charles is a fast young man that we're excited about. And same thing, we're not sure if he's going to be that slot receiver for us or that back out of the backfield catching the football. But he can flat out run. He's got good hands. So really excited about him joining the program.
You also brought in a kicker to your recruiting class this year.
We brought in a kicker. Still recruiting several others. Dylan's got a strong leg. He's with us losing Seth Pico, we got Eric Maskey, who he punted and kicked a little bit at Mohawk, got a really strong leg. We think he'll slide into that punt and roll for us. Of course, we never like our punters to take the field. I'm trying not to letter those guys.
Yep.
But Dylan's got a strong leg, and we're excited to see what he can do for us as well.
All right, wide receiver out of Centennial Hall, and my favorite name in the recruiting class, Jamal Slappy.
Jamal, very, very athletic young man, reminds us a lot like Charles Holland. He's going to be a basketball player for us as well.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No,
that young man.
He's 6'4", probably only about 180 pounds right now. Just giant hands and is great at catching the football. They lined him up at quarterback some there at Centennial. So Coach Eisen did a great job signing him. We're really excited about him. And we expect him to come in and hopefully learn that position where we lost Marcus Burham, and that this young man will be a lot bigger target than Marcus was.
You were creating a little pipeline there, right down State Route 53.
Hey,
Ross High School to Tiffin University.
Knock on wood, we've done a great job in Columbus. Coach Ison's done a great job down there. We've got some little pipelines built to certain areas.
That's what you got to do, right?
Right.
All right. Well, speaking from Fremont, wide receiver named Jalen Slick, and you got Craig Yeast as his head coach. A gentleman who knows quite a bit about playing the wide receiver position.
Well, not only that, they lined him up at quarterback some as well. So, Jalen, I'm really excited about him because, he could be coming out of the backfield. He definitely could play slot receiver for us. And, again, he knows the offense. A lot of their terminology is identical to what we use. So, really excited about that young man. Another criminal justice major, very serious young man and hard worker. So, perfect fit for us right there.
Another offensive lineman, this one coming from the state of Indiana, which Coach referred to as kind of like a sleeping giant of high school football talent. This young man from Penn, Indiana, Ridge, let me see if I say it right, Tarwaki?
Tarwaki.
Boom.
We're excited about Ridge. Ridge had a lot of Division I offers early, and a lot of people kind of just assumed he was going in that direction. So we kind of snuck in there and got us a really, really good football player right there. Ridge is 6'4", 280. He was one of the top 50 offensive linemen in the state of Indiana. He was second-team all-conference over there. But, he's still just – he's got a lot of room to grow. His body's going to change drastically once we lock him in that weight room. But at 6'4", 280, that's a really good-looking high school offensive lineman. Yeah. It's not when he walks in the room, he's not somebody that you think, oh, wow, he's out of shape. No, he's put together. He
nice.
Enjoys lifting.
One of those guys has to turn sideways to get through the door.
Yeah, exactly. We need the big guys. Just protect Pip's backside. That's all you got to do.
That's all you got to do. Hey, Matt, our next guy coming in is a transfer defensive back from Division I Miami of Ohio.
Yeah, Alan Veazey. Like you said, we talked about before we were on air. You said he can run. That's what you need. Defensive backs can get out in space and go. And then, quick question before we went on to him. When you did the recruiting, whether it be for lineman or linebacker or whatever, are you looking more for a balance, or do you look more for size, or do you look more for the speed aspect of it for this conference?
Well, I'll tell you what, I learned a long time ago not to just set standards for, hey, they must be 6'4", they must be 6'3", or whatnot. Had a young man, Chris Williams, play for me who was 5'8" and 135 pounds soaking wet as a high school senior, and I honestly didn't want to recruit. I was at a D1 school and thought, I don't want a receiver like that. Long story short, I went and recruited him, watched him play high school basketball, and after watching him do 360s and windmill dunks, then I learned that he was a junior Olympian, and now he's playing for the Chicago Bears. So, we try not to set the bar, hey, they better be this or we're not recruiting him. But with that said, and after being in the GLIAC, which is, very, very similar to some Division I, conferences, we got to have the size. We really do in certain positions. So, to answer your question, a little bit of both. But with the offensive line, the defensive line, the linebackers, we really wanted that massive, rangy guy that had the big wingspan. And we would take maybe a little lighter guy that was 6'3" and say he's only 195, knowing he's going to put another 30 pounds on by the time he's a junior. And if you look at Pete Carroll, the Seahawks, and everything they've done, if you look at how they go about their drafting, they've got a formula about the arm span, the height, and the length of some of their players as opposed to just flat-out athletic ability sometimes. So I think it's they're onto something right there. Chancellor, their safety, wouldn't you love to have a safety that big?
He should be playing defensive end for most
without
teams.
A doubt.
Oh my gosh, that guy is a monster.
But Veazey's sitting there right at about 6 foot, 6'1". He's from Houston, Texas. He's graduated from Miami, Ohio. He's working on his master's here for us at Tiffin, and he can flat out run. So he's going to hopefully step right in and fill that role from Carlton Watkins at that corner position.
Well, we got 3 young men left to talk about, 2 on the defensive side, 1 on the offensive side. Let's start with 1 on the defensive side from Centennial, Ohio, a defensive end named Hunter Waits.
Yeah, Hunter, very excited about this young man too. Hunter is 6'4", 255 right now. He's a heavyweight wrestler in the state, defensive end. He looks like the guys some of our opponents have. Just a real big defensive ends. And again,
like
we went out and looked for the fast guys off the edge right there that also have size and the wingspan. So, Hunter's a great young man. He's very driven and motivated. He wants to go into criminal justice, law enforcement, something along those lines possibly, and he acts like it. But a great personality. He's a lot of fun to talk with.
Well, another quarterback on the list from Anchor Bay, Michigan. His name's Austin Woodside.
Yeah, again, another guy, we're bringing in that, can compete. He's a guy that we're excited about coming in, teaching him the offense, seeing how he grows in that. He needs the weight room with all the other freshmen, lock him in there. But he's got a good release, a smart young man that we're excited to work with, kind of see how he fits into the offense.
And the last one we'll talk about today, a linebacker from Cardinal, Ohio, named Brant Zamelka.
I think we just could have talked about linebackers all day and used all of our time, couldn't we?
This is fine.
I tell you what, Coach Edwards, you got a lot of tools.
Yes, he does.
No, Brant, excited about him. Again, you see that we beefed up our defense quite a bit. We expect Brant to come in here and compete. He had a great high school career there, and he's a guy that's going to come in here and after he learns the defense, you'll see him on the field pretty early.
When you look at this list of these kids all we went through, Coach, when you started the recruiting process about what you were targeting, how does this relate to what you originally thought about?
Well, I think we did a great job. We addressed some of our concerns and needs. And then that's a lot easier said than done.
Sure.
Like I said, we took our time and went out and spent a week in California. That's something we've never done in the past. And I'm not big on going outside the state for recruiting, but we had to find a few grown men to come in here and be able to play right now. And I think we got that, out of Willie Mays. Like I said, he's on campus right now working extremely hard. We're looking for a safety to fill the shoes, losing Brandon Purse, and looking for a corner because of Carlton Watkins. So, we've addressed the needs that we lost on defense, and then we've gotten a little better, adding some depth and some different size. I mean, you look at those linebackers, and the majority of them are all 6'3" or taller. So they look like some of the opponents we're playing up against now, and so we got bigger. We got bigger on both sides of the ball, and we added depth. Now, we got to stay healthy. Getting through spring ball is always the key. Every season brings different dynamics. It's always a different year for many different reasons. Lots of things can happen, but we're very excited at how hard the young men are working right now. They're hungry. They know the sky's the limit for us, and they know that, hey, look, Coach is bringing in some great recruiting classes to help us out. So,
will this be the extent of the kids that are coming in, or will there still be some walk-ons coming in, things like that, as far as freshmen?
No, I don't know if recruiting ever ends.
That's true.
But no, we are still actively recruiting a couple other guys. So we got a couple things in our back pocket still that we'll announce as we go on, as we sign them. So not quite over yet, and Coach Allen will tell you, hey, recruiting's never over. We need a lot of numbers.
Oh, I'm sure.
But and it helps us a lot there. So that's what we have, a signing class today of 31, and we probably got about another 10 or 15 that we're still working on right now.
Well, Matt, you dove into this class a lot more than I had a chance to today, and you've been around the program for as long as I have, and you've seen what this team has improved in and where they need some help. What do you think about when you look at the class?
I like it. I think there's a lot of size. I like the linebackers that we always talk about needing more defense and more defense. The offense has come tenfold since Coach Yoff took over. Now the defense is going to be able to catch up. It's getting there already, but now you put this young life into it, a lot of speed, a lot of size, and they just learn the defense. They let them grow, and I think we're set. We talk about a lot of size up front as well, the defensive line. And I think we've addressed that as well throughout the recruiting classes that have been before this one. And then offensively, already got a lot. We talk about it. You've got a lot of wide receivers, Charles Holland, Jeremy Lewis. You throw in some of these guys with them, whether they're slots or they're big, tall, rangy guys that can go up and catch a football. And you throw in a couple running backs. I mean, there's a lot there. The stable's filling up quick, and it's filling up with a lot of talent, and that's exactly what you need to win at any level at any sport.
Yep. Now it's just up to Coach Goff and your assistant coaches to put these young men to work as the Dragon pillow falls down on us. So, time to put them to work.
Oh, without a doubt. It's a big day for us. It's finally over. We got to announce our class, but now it's on to the next chapter, and it's about this off season, about spring football, and how much we can improve in those 15 workouts we have, but. I couldn't be more proud of our football team right now. My coaching staff, you name it. Everybody's working extremely hard. Everybody on campus is extremely excited. But, one thing we never let them forget is, hey, our opponents are out there working just as hard. So don't be complacent, and we got to stay hungry.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for your time. Great work with this recruiting class. And, keep up the great work. Work them hard. And we'll be ready to go come week 1 in the fall. So thank you so much for your time.
Hey, thank you so much for you guys' help. We'll bat an eye and the sun will be out.
That's
It'll be time
right.
for a report date, won't it?
He's Matt Kibler. I'm Russ Snyder. This is Coach Gary Goff of the Tiffin University football team, and that has been your 2015 recruiting class here on National Signing Day right here on WTUD. Thank you.